I wanted to share with you a story about, let's call her Sarah. Sarah was a client that came to see me, and she had a really bad, debilitating phobia. Her phobia was that she wasn't able to travel long distances in the car without a feeling really claustrophobic. So she'd be okay on little short trips driving. She had a young son. She'd be okay in these little drives. But as soon as she got on the open road, she began to experience this sense of claustrophobia where she felt trapped, that she needed to get out. So she lost all confidence in able to travel big distances. So if she wanted to get away with her young son, she wasn't able to do so. So this made Sarah's life really challenging. She wasn't really able to freely move about in the way that she wanted to, particularly with a young son. They wanted to travel, they wanted to do things, and it was just not possible with this phobia that she was experiencing. So, long story short, Sarah came to see me. We worked in this subconscious state, which I'll be talking about in this video, and it was really warming to my heart when I got a message from her, an email about six months after our session, and she said that she no longer had that phobia. We only had one session, and it was completely taken care of in this subconscious state that we work in, and she was able to be free and travel and do all these things that she really wanted to do. And I wanted to share with you that example today because I wanted to give many of you hope that it doesn't really matter what you're facing. It might be a long-term debilitating illness, it could be a phobia like Sarah had, it could be a number of different things. Whatever it is, know that in this state of hypnosis that some powerful things can occur. So that's what I want to share with you today in this video about, is the power of hypnosis and how it can actually really transform your life. So let's just look at, to begin with, some areas of why hypnosis would be so effective. I want to draw this little illustration to your attention right now, is when what we focus on turns into what we believe. And then what we believe turns into what our reality is. So you've probably heard me talk about, and other people talk about, how we create our reality with our thoughts and words and intentions. But when we break that down, it can be quite challenging to get from focus to belief. And then from belief, when we believe something, then we create the reality. So we can be in this focus mode, and I know many of you are going to relate to this. You focus on something, it might be negative, and you get so focused on a particular thing in your life. So it could be an addiction. You're so focused on this thing that's predominant in your life. It's there, right? It's there. Then that becomes our belief. We believe that we can't break that addiction. We've tried everything. Let's say it's giving up smoking. I work with people all the time that are trying to give up smoking. They've tried everything, and they believe that whatever they have tried in the past hasn't worked, because that's their reality. That has become their reality. So this pattern can be almost, in the conscious mind, in the conscious state, almost impossible to break, impossible to move, because they've had all of this experience that have said to them that you've tried everything, it doesn't work. So they get into this belief structure that whatever they do isn't going to make any difference. They've spent money on it, they've tried every kind of thing under the sun to try to get to a place where it's out of their life, which they've overcome, which they've moved on from this and been successful. And this is where I want to introduce hypnosis, because we aren't working in the conscious mind, where all of this programming plays out. We're actually working in the subconscious part of the mind, the higher self, the higher part of the mind, the right side of the brain. This is very much the left side of this brain, this analytical, habitual part that we're so used to living our lives in, which is the left side. But in the right side, we've kind of got maybe, let's say, more room to move. We're not dealing with stuff that's ingrained as much. So we've got more opportunity to do the work. And that's the part of the mind that we work with in hypnosis. So what is hypnosis? And I'm glad you asked that question, because it's a great question to ask. What is it? Well, I want to start with what is hypnosis not? And particularly hypnotherapy and the method that I work with, particularly IQH and QHHT, it is not what many of you may have been exposed to and before on TV, stage hypnosis. Getting someone out of their power, running around clucking like a chicken or some crazy thing you might have seen. It's actually self-empowerment. And particularly in this state that we work with, the subconscious mind, it's about empowering the client to being in their own power. And these sessions, particularly QHHT, let's look at this one for a moment. This goes for about 5 hours, so it's really intensive. One of the reasons it goes so long, and people are often really surprised, particularly when I tell them how long a session is going to go for, is why would it take so long? It's so imperative to establish trust. And me being the practitioner, I am the guide that is facilitating a healing process that is coming from the individual coming here. You see, I've said in many of these videos, the power is inside of you. It's always been there. And hypnosis is a wonderful way of facilitating the natural healing process. See, maybe in your conscious mind, you can't shift some of these habitual patterns in your life, but in this state of hypnosis, in the relaxed state, and with trust established with the practitioner, in my case it would be me, we spend the time. We spend a couple of hours really getting to know each other, and for the client to get to trust me. Because like in so many areas of life, trust is so imperative. And when someone feels listened to, and in that first segment of the hypnosis, they share their life story, all the things that have got them to the place where they are, I've gotten to know them really well in that time. And then they bring their questions to the session. They bring all the questions that they want answered. And we go through the process of asking the higher self. I'll ask them those questions to their higher self, and we get the answers. And it's amazing what happens. And this is what happened for Sarah. You know, she was able to unlock and work out what was holding her back, what was creating this phobia in her experience. You see, we create stuff that we don't even know about in our lives. We create stuff subconsciously, and then we live it out in the conscious reality that we live. And in the conscious state, we often cannot move and cannot change things. But in this higher state, which I'm going to do some more videos over the next couple of days, I'm going to do a whole series on just breaking down what hypnosis is, how it can transform your life, and I want to share anecdotes and stories of people that have used this practice to really transform their life and break habitual patterns. You know, I've seen this for smoking. I've seen it for, addictions. I've seen it for chronic health conditions, and it just completely transformed people's lives. So I believe that it can be transformative for your life. I want to share with you what it is, what it isn't. We're going to go into much more detail in these coming videos. So why don't you tune in for the next video. We'll break it down in a lot more depth. But in the meantime, I want to ask you, if you are interested in hypnosis for your life, you might want to use it to quit an addiction. It might be smoking, it could be a chronic health issue. Contact me. I'm going to leave a link below. I want to talk to you about it. I want to see if I can help you in any way in your journey. But until next time, I'll see you in the next video.